Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. After all the rumours and speculation over the past couple of weeks, it is official. Disguised Yay is a thing after getting dropped from Cloud9 a couple of weeks ago, joining Disguise now for the Challenger season. This is remarkable for so many reasons, and great for Yay Disguised and the VALORANT scene as a whole for so many reasons as well. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Can Yay send these guys all the way through to Ascension? That would be remarkable. Firstly though, we've got to dive into the final America's game of the week. That was Evil Geniuses versus 100 Thieves. This was not a particularly close game. 100 Thieves played better than they did against Sentinels. I believe even Stella said after the game that had they played like this against Sentinels, they would have won that match. But they took down Evil Geniuses without too much difficulty. EG, the only tier 1 team, certainly in the America side, to have not won a map so far. They're 0-4 in map count, which is not exactly a massive surprise. EG are terrible. We know that to be true. There were some questions though about this series because BCJ played map 1 and was then subbed out for Demon 1 in game 2. Now, Demon 1 did a great job, don't get me wrong, but I don't really understand the role dynamic here, right? Because Com stayed and was put into a role on the smokes where BCJ, he was an initiator really, but he's been running the smokes a fair bit for this team anyway, and I think he's going to do a better job of that than Com will. So I just don't really understand that decision there, that if there's someone to be benched in the team on map 2 Icebox, I didn't expect them to make the change where BCJ for Demon 1. I thought they would go another route, but I like the idea getting Demon 1 in. I think he's very talented, but the change they made specifically didn't make much sense to me. 100 Thieves won game 1, they won game 2 as well, and it was a quick 0-2 for BCJ and co. I know there are a lot of questions about me getting subbed. I would appreciate support from the fans rather than the hate. Thank you very much. So yeah, tough times for BCJ. I think he might be their best player, to be honest, but he was subbed out for game 2 in controversial circumstances. And the team as a whole is just bad. I mean, like, they've got no fans, terrible team. I don't know what Evil Geniuses are even doing in franchising, to be honest, but it is what it is. And as Asuna says, 2-0 versus EG, first time playing Gecko. Happy to get our first win of the year. So good result for them, quick 2-0. I mean, just look at the numbers, it's not pretty. 13-9 and then 13-5 was map 2 Icebox. So this wasn't even close. And that leaves the standings as following. Fury allowed 100 Thieves now at 1-1, but Evil Geniuses 0-2, failed to win a map so far, and probably won't win a map anytime soon based on the present evidence of that team. So many questions to be asked there. What do they need to change? But it was clear when this roster was formed, it wasn't going to do that much. And yeah, they've got some serious questions to answer relatively soon. Speaking of the VCT Americas, the catfish of the week, right, from Noyan again, makes its return. So 4 nominees, Sen Psycho, that was getting most of the votes here, Crew Claws, EG Common, Sen Dephh as well. The Sentinels guys always going to get a lot of the votes here. Ardis, of course, won the first iteration the last time around. The other part to mention though here is that he mentions in the replies he's not going to put TenZ in here because of his delicate personal situation, effectively related to Kaide, his fiancée, diagnosed with leukemia very unfortunately a few weeks ago now. So it's understandable that TenZ, his full focus won't be on playing the game at the highest level, and you can totally understand and appreciate why that would be the case. He was asked the question though, if this is the case, which it is, then why is TenZ not, maybe TenZ should step away on a more full-time basis to care for Kaide and, focus on that side of things, which might be a reasonable suggestion. But Noyan says, like, nobody knows why Sentinels haven't done that, but before the tournament started, I heard that he won't play all the games, so he should kind of step away soon. So rumors going around here that Sentinels will make a change for TenZ at some point. TenZ will step away at some point in the near future, and maybe that means Marv is coming in at that point. I don't know what the plan is going to be there, when this is going to happen, if this is going to happen at all, but there's a chance that TenZ at some point over the coming weeks steps away from the team. Marv comes in. Don't know what they would do for roles in that circumstance. So yeah, difficult circumstance for all involved, but just a quick update on that side of things. Also on the Challenger side, Turtle Troop is saying, or Weeded is saying here, that they were looking for applicants to join their team, and that they've looked through some certain players and potentially things happening relatively soon. Some things might fall through and things might come good. So a couple of changes that Turtle Troop are making, and also a couple of changes being made for Disguised, DSG, and of course they saw yesterday the new DSG player reveal. Now, I thought I was going crazy thinking that Yay to DSG was actually going to happen here. They announced it on April Fools, and people thought it was a joke, of course. And I was like, well, if you look at it from all angles, it actually makes a fair bit of sense. Yay needs somewhere to go. He can't join any other tier 1 team because of the rules. We know that Disguised are a clout organization to a certain extent. Yay, despite being the best player in the world last year for a time, has never been a particularly clouted player, right? He's, got a lot of Twitter likes and stuff and a lot of fans, but he's never had a huge amount of clout like you would get if you were on Sentinels or 100 Thieves or another organization like it. So it makes sense for both parties, and it also makes sense, of course, for Disguised as well, based on whatever they could potentially pay Yay, because, you know, Yay's probably not hurting for cash too much after the Cloud9 payday that he had for at least a couple of months at the start of the season. So I thought I was going crazy thinking that this was actually a possibility, and I was like, surely not. And then Toast kept talking on stream about Yay and like joking around about it. I was like, it's a bit strange if they're using Yay for all this clout and attention if he's not actually joining. And it turns out that he is actually joining. So I kind of still couldn't believe my eyes, but they did do a phenomenal roster update where he gets Tarek to walk in the background and he says, oh, can you join? But that's a buyout there from Sentinels. That's not going to happen. So he says he's going to have to go with a free agent. And then Yay walks in the background as well and they sign him. So a pretty remarkable sentiment. So I still can't believe this is actually happening, to be honest. 67,000 likes on Twitter. And, you know, for good reason, get Yay to the team. It's a really cool story, right? And Yay, hopefully, will be able to elevate this team to a certain extent. I don't think they expect to be winning challenges or anything. And Yay has made it very clear that his goal is to get back into Tier 1. He's not going to be here for the long term. This is going to be a few months project for Yay. And when he can get back into Tier 1 and gets a good offer, that's where he's going to be. But maybe he can get to Tier 1 by winning this team Ascension, which is possible. It's unlikely with the strength of the roster that they have, but Yay will certainly move this team in the right direction. Whether that's going to be enough to make the difference is a bit of a question mark, but I mean, still, it's a great story. It's awesome for Tier 2 Valorant as well. The fact that, I mean, the amount of viewership that kind of show match got with Tarek and Yay versus the 5 streamers, including Toast, was phenomenal. And just how when Disguise came up with a Game Changers team the other day, and they, of course, made waves in that sense and had, what, 100,000 viewers for a Game Changers qualifier, Challenges itself is going to have monstrous views now with Yay competing down there. So awesome stuff for the scene in general. I think it makes sense for Yay. He can build up his content game, build up his, you know, kind of personality and his clout game with an organization like this before he steps back into presumably another Tier 1 team next season. And also it can help Disguise. In the short term, they can become more recognizable. It probably works from a monetary perspective as well. I know that Toast has said that he doesn't want to, you know, spend too much money on this project, doesn't want to go into a Cloud9 situation for good reason. Just wanted to share here then the thoughts from Yay himself on why he's done this, the fact that it's probably a shorter term move, and when he gets a Tier 1 option, he's going to return, or he can make this team work and get all the way through to Ascension, which would be a great storyline if he can possibly help make that happen.
Boys, honestly, I would keep streaming, but I have to go scrim. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. But it's also fortunate because I can actually practice. Boys, I cannot tell you how depressing it is to play ranked. Boys, I went from, like, Tier 1 competition, boys, to playing ranked, like, day to day. It's just like, man. Oh. But I'm happy that even if it's, maybe, it could be a short-term thing, to be honest with you. Because, like, ultimately, you know, I do want to, like, compete at the highest level. But we shall see, boys. We shall see. Hopefully, I can get back to that point because, you know, that's what I love doing and I love going on stage. But in the meantime, boys, we're going to have some fun. I promise you, when I'm on DSG and stuff like that, I will be giving my max effort every single day and I'll do the best that I can, boys. And hopefully I can bring this guy's org into franchise. Because I think that'd be pretty sick, no? I think that'd be pretty sick if we could bring it like all the way. But I'll do the best I can. And
yeah, should be very exciting. I think we might be making one more change. Not 100% yet. So I will let you guys know the update once we make a decision.
Toast himself, of course, also suggesting that they might well make another move down the line. Now, there was also an interview that was done. I thought this is really good from Disguised again, as, you know, Toast is killing it on so many fronts at the moment. But what he did was, it reached out to George Geddes, I imagine, and said, hey, instead of you leaking this move, let's work together on this and do an interview, right? And do kind of like a press release type thing. And it's better for the community. Like, when George Geddes didn't leak it, it's great because you don't know for sure if it's going to happen yet. And then Disguised can do the announcement, get 70,000 likes on the tweet, because people don't really know. So as a 2 for you here kind of does the TLDR, Yay reached out to Toast first, admiring his formula during the role issues period on Cloud9. Then Toast hit Yay up to trial for the team. Toast thinks it's an unrealistic expectation to win Ascension despite having someone like Yay. It's still a team game, of course. His intention is to keep the costs low while building something sustainable long term. Cloud10 viewership obviously important. Talking about merch and saying that, yeah, George Geddes knew about this stuff, wasn't clueless on this occasion, but deliberately didn't leak it this time and came up with an alternate strategy, which I believe has been the best for all parties. So as it stands, disguised roster is this. Riku has gone to the sub bench. Yay is coming. I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Steel, Gangster, XXIF, Clear, and Yay. That's the current team. They might be looking to make another move, right, as Disguised Toast himself said. So we'll see. And yeah, their results lately haven't been particularly good. They do need to level up their team. Yay is hopefully going to help do that. And I think it just works well for all parties at the moment. And even as Tech says from the card, just scrimmed against DSG Yay on DSG, we're all playing for second, right? Guys, we actually scrimmed, it's not a bait, he says. So, you know, maybe they're quite good with Yay in the team. Of course, it is going to help, right, having a player of Yay's caliber. It also helps keep Yay's name being mentioned. He can go to challenges really however well he does. People are going to be talking about Yay more often. He doesn't have to play ranked all day. He can actually compete again. It makes sense for all parties, and it's really great to see. So it really is a thing. DSG Yay is actually happening. It's still a remarkable storyline. And of course, fundamentally, Yay wants to get back to tier 1 at some point, but for the time being, this just makes sense. So very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Just to close out finally with the top players from the second week of the VCT Americas, and we've got Som, Bang, Khalil, Crashies, and Stella rounding out the lot. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.